defenders, I think, it's like.
Are we live? Of course we're live. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. As you can see, I don't know why my other hoodie's trying to get a feature, but it can't. I'm wearing this thing. Check it out. Make sure you're checking out the merchandise links. But away from that, people, as usual, people deluded, I'm back again. I hope everybody's doing well and safe. It's the halfway point of the week, so I hope you're all moving that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. As usual, wishing you lot continued good health and long may it continue. So yeah, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Please check out the pinned message. It's a busy day of content. We're here until whenever we're done. We go over at 2 p.m. to Twitch, people. Make sure you're there because I'm going to have Mo Hader. Mo, who used to be on AFTV. Mo, who, as you know, does the loaded cannon and all his other stuff. I can't imagine you don't. And I rather enjoy speaking football with Mo, and I don't think I've spoken to him this year / I think the last time we spoke was prior to Man City, so I'll quiz him quickly on how he felt about the Man City game. We're obviously going to preview Liverpool tomorrow, and we know we've got a North London derby shortly after that, so we'll talk about that among transfers and whatnot and any other questions. So any questions you've got, hold them off. Make sure you ask them on Twitch or go on my YouTube community tab and do up that one. Later today, you know, unfortunately, it's two teams that we hate, people. Tottenham against Chelsea. I'm going to be doing a watch along for that. I mean, if nothing more, hopefully, you know, Spurs can actually score an early goal. Let there be optimism within the ground. And then Chelsea can, you know, shatter their dreams and not have a trophy or a chance of getting a trophy and whatnot, especially after everybody, you know, we've been laughing for a few weeks, but, you know, we deserve to be laughed at. We lost to Nottingham Forest respectfully. They deserve their thing. Throughout the course of this, we're going to speak about Vlahovic. We're going to, you know, I'm sure everyone and their nans had a lot to say. I think every bloody live stream, I've put him in the thumbnail, you know, making sure that, you know, we utilize this. Actually, you know me, on the best of days, I have 1,000 tabs open, people, and none of that is going to change right now either. I'm just making sure that we can close a couple of unnecessary ones like such. Like that. What's that? Fair enough. Okay. Wait. Where's my other one? Make sure it's there. Shout out Sky Caval, because you can tell he's shook. He doesn't want Arsenal fans smoke again after the Tomiyasu thing. Man's even, boy. It is what it is, man. So we'll have to see, man. Everyone and their nan's offering an opinion on this Vlahovic brother, even Mikel Arteta people. So it is what it is. Anyways, man, let's carry on, man. Arsenal confirmed its willingness to pay 70 million euros, 58.3 for Dusan Vlahovic, as well as 18 million euros, which works around 15 million towards his agent. Arsenal will offer wages of 19 million, 15 million over years. Exactly. So again, when you get past the headline, it made sense, really. It was never 300k. It weren't as crazy as that sounded. The headline is obviously going to get stories clicked on it, stuff like that. But when you looked at the figures that, you know, dinero's recorrelated, and we spoke about it yesterday, it's not as attractive. It's not as sexy as it actually sounds, people. And actually, I've lost something we was going to speak about as well, people. That's quite jarring. Before we get into any transfer news, I need all of that up there, man. If I'm completely honest, where is it? That's one. Sorry, folks, just the boring stuff at this moment in time. Where are we going? Big up my guy Giles as well. You know, I've got to make sure we get all of this in there. Let's copy and paste that. Sorry, folks, it's not as sexy, you know. Again, I want this show to be the best it can be for all of you lot, and I don't like to miss things out, so it's got to be done, innit? It's got to be done. So yeah, let's slap that over where Vlahovic is. Hey. And again, all I care about is, yeah, I don't want us to end this window and we do this we tried business. Like we show him we're aggressive, but ultimately we don't get the player. There's no, you don't get no brownie points for we tried. You either get the striker or not. And again, as much as I like the Vlahovic stuff, and we need a striker is of equal importance, and it's almost, as well as the midfield, the striker is almost a missing component of this new built spine. But for me, the midfield, admittedly, as much as I'm not going to get happy about being linked with Vlahovic until they confirm it, and if they confirm it, but I would have liked this same aggression. What I mean by aggression is, when you think of Arsenal's transfers at this moment in time, it's Vlahovic. You might think of Bruno Guimaraes and all these guys, but it's the Vlahovic. Every journalist and their nan is saying my understanding, my sources. I would have loved that same aggression when it comes to midfield, and I hope there is. I hope that we're getting something done in the back burners in relation to the centre mid position. But I would have loved to have seen somebody linked with this club as much as Vlahovic. I know we've been linked with Arthur. We'll go over that. Bruno Guimaraes. Who else? Early doors, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Ramsey on loan, Wijnaldum on loan, Guimaraes, if I haven't said that already. Obviously, Ricky and all of these, the young sort of players in Italy, who I'm on that, the Empoli lad, I'm on that if they can get that done in January for what it's worth. Very technical baller. So, yeah, before we carry on, what are you lot saying, man? I appreciate you. Skyto, I see your cheeky comments about 4 minutes of added on time referring to my lateness. Pop-Tarts. To be fair to you, man, I was eating cheese on toast, man. I was going to order something on Deliveroo. Then I thought, you know what, I need to go shopping as well. I thought, you know what, we either go Sainsbury's quickly, Tesco's and Aldi and the rest of it. We either buy something or we make something. And I thought, let me go down the cheap route, man. I bought bread. Let me make something. It's not every day buy stuff in it. We got one of my goals for 2022 is less, because I love cooking. I'll cook my dinner, I'll cook my lunch, but breakfast, I'm not really on it. Like, if I can just boom, 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 if there's some fruit there, that's me. I think the morning is where I like to be the most productive. Things are going on. I don't have time to be thinking about food. I don't, I even ironing clothes, like all of that stuff has to be done the day before, because I just want to get up, sit in this chair, do what I need to do. I don't want to have to give brain time to, should I make a smoothie or whatever, and all of these things, man. You knew it, man. You knew it. Man said VAR needs to hire him. Appreciate you lot being tuned in, man. Without you lot, it's dead, man. Hey, big up yourself, Jay. And our under 23s absolutely savaged them Surrey boys. All Cobham this, Cobham that. Can't come around North London. You saw what time it was. Amari Hutchinson scoring bangers and then gripsing up Utes. Flores moving mad. Brooke Norton Coffey and Mika Beref doing their things among everyone else. Can't come around here. It's a dungeon. Who else is getting fed up with Arsenal's transfers? Pure speculation. We all are, man. We all are. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The dominoes are falling. Where did you see that he wants Arsenal and Arsenal move? I mean, I love you lot, but why don't you ever just cool off and wait? Like, why don't you lot wait? Like, relax, man. Relax. We're going to go over these headlines where allegedly he wants to join and all of these things, man. DG doing the sensible thing, not the cheap route. That's adult business you're handling. I hear it, but I would have preferred the chicken panini and all of them sort of things there. Big up a dash of sports. This reminds me of the Juventus player Locatelli. We were apparently close and pushing hard, but no transfer. Exactly. This is the issue. It's like, it feels like we're being taken around the houses, and that's what I mean. It feels like it could be that typical Arsenal thing of where we showed aggression, we tried, but ultimately we didn't bring the man in, and you don't get brownie points for trying. Cynical people might say, we going for players we know realistically we have no chance of getting. Now, I don't necessarily believe that, but I'm being a bit harsh on us in that regards, man. So, yeah, man, with that being said, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Before that, DG, did you see recalling Miguel Aziz and giving... Do you see recalling Miguel Aziz and giving Jack Wilshere a 6-month contract to patch up our midfield to the end of the season if we don't get a viral replacement? It's not good enough. I love Miguel Aziz, but it's a bit like Charlie Patton. I can't expect you to... I would love it, but I can't expect you to help us properly to get top 4, and it's not realistic. These men need to just have that healthy scope of developing. We're placing too much hopes on these young lads. It's not fair, really. And I've said it before. I don't have any sympathy for anything that we face in terms to Mikel Arteta and Edu. Any problems that happen as a result of not having a midfielder or an ample midfield, I don't have sympathy. I have a lot of sympathy for both of them, more so Arteta. Midfield isn't one of them, because you knew this was a possibility. You knew this could happen. We knew we was playing a very dangerous game with our midfield when everybody's fit. And I just feel anyways, regardless of injuries, when everybody's fit, our midfield options are not good enough. And that was the one big thing that I think we missed out in the summer. You know, we brought in some good signings. We tried to address the spine. Ultimately, we buckled at the chance of bringing in a midfielder. It only looked like we was going to bring in one. Even Locatelli, if I remember correctly, if Granit Xhaka was going to complete that move to Roma. So I have no sympathy. And as great as it is, a midfielder needs to arrive sooner rather than later. It's of no relevance because they can't help us for these next 2 games this week. You know, they're not helping us in the North London derby. And even if a midfielder signed, it's not logical to just sign them and slap them straight into the lineup. It doesn't make sense, really. And January is a difficult time to do business and a difficult time to adapt to a new team mid-season, as you saw with Odegaard last year, where fans weren't harsh. So I'm not really for it. Giving Jack Wilshere a 6-month contract or a pay-as-you-play or whatever, if we get to that territory, why not? Because I don't know what we're doing. I have to imagine Arteta and Edu have a plan. You know, any case files that got left in the summer, can we reopen them? I know variables change. You know, I wouldn't mind Jack Wilshere, but the problem is, you know, I think since leaving us, he's only played 50 games. He hasn't kicked a ball this season. Yeah, he's keeping himself fit and them things there, but you know, keeping yourself fit and being match fit and being able to retain fitness is what it is. Now, I think Jack Wilshere could have helped Lokonga and Patino at Nottingham Forest, but it is what it is. And also, you know, that's not a long-term solution, man. It's crazy, really and truly, man. Whom do you serve? The people, my guy. Weird ass question, but shout out to you, man. Your baby mother, if she finds me attractive. But yeah, on a serious note, let's crack on, man. You know, the weirdos are starting to surface themselves. Where should we start? Let's actually get everything in order. Because this we're gonna be here for this Vlahovic business. Just on Vlahovic, we're gonna be here for a second. All right, cool. All the Vlahovic business is in order. Make sure we're hitting the like button, bro. Some beaky. The internet's scary, bro. I can't lie to you, man. The internet is scary, bro. But you know, I found it like I'm in the Vikings or something. Whom do you serve? Blood clot self. But anyways, Dusan Vlahovic Premier League transfer battle looms for the Fiorentina sensation. Just before we say that, Sky Caval. Now, me personally, I think he shook. I don't know. I think he shook. I think Caval, shout out to you. If you want to collab with DG, shout me in it. Cause I need to come out the hood and it's about time I got into the mainstream. But I'm never going to cap. I think you're shook. I think you're shook because of that Tomiyasu business. You don't want it with Arsenal fans again. You know, you was talking very brazy about Tomiyasu, and humble pie has been served, and Arsenal fans don't let you forget that. So I think they're onto him. So I think with that, he's being a bit smart with what he's saying about Vlahovic. But if we accept what he's saying at face value on Vlahovic, if it was left to the player, he would be open to going to Arsenal. I think he would like to play for Arsenal. He knows about the history of the club. And again, there's a lot to speak about in relation to Vlahovic people as well. Where is the other things as well? Okay, cool. Just making sure everything here, I got bare tabs on the best of days, but everything here is going to be Vlahovic people. So bear that in mind. Now, it's very contradicting. End of the day, until he's holding up the shirt like this, then I don't really care how much he wants to sign for the club, this, that, and the third. You know, again, man need to sign the contract, sorry, hold the shirt. Everyone and their nans adding their own little spin. The guys from Sky Sports, Talk Shy, Daily Mail, everybody's adding their own exclusive. Everyone's got their own sources. Everyone knows everybody. Nothing's come out the horse's mouth. Now, on one hand, I do think Vlahovic don't want to sign for Arsenal. But on the other hand, I do think there's clearly more encouragement. You know, Arsenal are not going to... I know we get a lot of criticism, but one thing I've always said about the club, if there's a sniff of encouragement, this is where they start moving. So indirectly or directly, there's some part of Vlahovic that is open to this, whether we're second chance or whatever. Broski, it's fully become daily Vlahovic daily. So that's Sky Caval. Now, if we look at Sky Sports, a Premier League transfer battle looms for the Fiorentina sensation. City, Arsenal, and Tottenham. Now, we heard City are on to Haaland. Tottenham, You know, they've got Conte, and his agent seems to fuck with Conte, pardon my language. So yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Vlahovic has scored 33 goals. He said, I am the Zlatan Ibrahimovic of Belgrade. I will play for the biggest clubs. Fair play. We all know he did his thing at Partizan. He seems like he's got elite mentality. And I love this word as well, people. This phrase. It says he was crazy, really crazy. But I liked his arrogance. I thought he could become a strong player. We need that healthy arrogance, man. Because I always say you need competence. Obviously, if you're a striker, can you score goals? You need consistency. No point doing it on Saturday if you can't do it in a must-win on Tuesday, you know, and you need confidence, you know. And I've always said that confidence thing is subjective. Right now, it's healthy at Arsenal. Fans are riding for everybody. Everything's good. But when the fans turn, when the form's poor, when you try that pass and the Emirates groans, are you going to have the confidence to try that again? If you miss that easy one-on-one, do you have the confidence to do it again? And respectfully, when things turn, last time, I only saw certain people stand up to be counted. I only really saw Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli whenever he gets a chance. And there's a couple of other exceptions to the name people, to them names. So, and I think he's got that. And obviously some of that is down to his background, you know, Eastern European, Serbian. There's a lot of, you know, you have to have a bit of a strong mentality, and there's a lot of geopolitical issues as well. 300 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. God bless all of you locked in. So yeah, man. He did his thing. Again, you know, he's been scoring goals. I'm not going to lie. I don't really care about his life story in relation to what he's been doing. I just need to know if you're coming to the club, people. You know, he's got an imposing 6'3" frame. Apparently, he only has 2 headed goals to show for it, people, which that tells you something. And his most defining strikes have been a showcase of his athleticism and shooting from any range. His shot conversion rate is one of the highest in Italy, and that includes free kicks and penalties, over which he retains 100% record. There's more to him than meets the eye. He's hungry to get to the very top. And again, mentality. You want to improve. You know, when everybody's gassing you, telling you how amazing you are, you could be forgiven for thinking you've made it at 21. We need people that want to get better. You know, I keep saying it. Arteta needs to be able to work with and show he can get the good players to an even better level, rather than stagnate. And I think he needs to be met halfway with the mentality, not to do our former captain dirty. But there was question marks over his mentality of late. When you hear he's got a mentality, that your mentality is what's going to take you far. And that's what we need, hunger, especially to do this project stuff and all of these sort of things. So yeah, but obviously they're gonna be kissing his ass in this article a bit respectfully. We know he did a madness against AC Milan. His last game for Fiorentina, the whole team was shit. If I'm honest, you know, he did his thing, and there he's rejected an offer. He's become only the 3rd player in the last 60 years to have scored more than 30 goals in Serie A. He joins Ronaldo and Luca Toni. What a name! The wise alternative to Haaland. Pardon me. On Haaland, he said, maybe he's only quicker than me, but we're neck and neck on the rest. I like that he backs himself. Tall, physical, athletic, impudent, cold-blooded, bullish, constantly hungry for more, and born days into the new millennium. It really does seem like the 2 left-footed sharpshooters were made out of the same mold. I mean, you know, Haaland's got to do a lot to really reach that potential, but Vlahovic, I don't, from what I've seen, you know, Haaland is better than you. Haaland's the guy in it. Hopefully you sign for Arsenal. I'm going to be shameless. You're better than Haaland instantly. Come on, you play for North London club and that. But yeah, man. So that was just an article kissing his ass, basically. Arsenal overcome major obstacle as Dusan Vlahovic open to January transfer. Vlahovic would be open to joining the club this month. According to reports, the Gunners have been linked with a move for Vlahovic in recent weeks and have stepped up their interest in the January transfer window. The Serbian star has been in stunning goal scoring form for Fiorentina and is attracting interest from a host of top clubs across Europe. He previously stated he would like to stay until the end of the season. However, Arsenal have seemingly convinced the player that they would be a good destination for him. Vlahovic would like to play for Arsenal and can see what Mikel Arteta is building at the Emirates. I think if it was left to the player, he'd be open to going to Arsenal, Sky Carval said. I think he would like to play for Arsenal. He knows about the history of the club. He knows Arsenal are in London. But you 21 years of age with the money you're earning, London thing, you get it. Ox party. London's the thing. Come and sign for us. You sign for us, develop a couple years. You know, these Juventuses and PSGs and Reals and Barca's, they'll come for you again, and you can leave with our blessing for top money. And hopefully we get a next striker and the cycle continues. This is the reality of football. Anyways, he said, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, it's also good news that Arsenal owners are backing Mikel Arteta, because they're saying to him, look, this is a live target. This is someone who you want, and we're going to try and get him for you. I hear that, you know, and it could be, you know, it's good brownie points for Mikel Arteta, for Edu and the Kroenkes. You know, man are always getting at Edu. Oh, he's in Brazil, he's on holiday. We ain't got a centre mid. Mikel this, Mikel that. The owners this, bro. You bring in the striker. I'm gonna give you your credit where due, but I'm also not gonna praise anybody for doing things that they're supposed to be doing, which that is directly at the owners. You know, it's another player where, you know, I hope he fits us like a glove. I don't want to hear the things we hear about Aubameyang and Lacazette about they don't fit the system and this and that. The striker needs to fit the system, so the excuses run out. I do think that there's going to be a lot of pressure on Vlahovic because, you know, man, are onto you from the first game if you don't bang, really. If I was Vlahovic personally, I'd probably sit on my hands until the end of the season, really. So, yeah, man. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that they're going to be successful because we're talking about one of the most sought-after players in world football at the moment, broski. So let's see, man. This is a player that a lot of big clubs are aware of and they all want him. Vlahovic told Politica in December that he wants to help lead Fiorentina's fight for European silverware. I have stated this several times. A beautiful football story is being made here in Florence. All right, cool. You make your beautiful stories. So yeah, but away from all of that, though, people, it's getting it starts getting, the story starts getting a bit brazy. Big up my guy Giles. You know, I need to get a collab going with him. Hope you're over the C-bomb. Dusan Vlahovic news from an Arsenal supporters club Croatia on Facebook. Apparently, the relationship between Vlahovic and the agent is very thin. Agent fees are not expected to be an issue. Dusan Vlahovic is interested in Arsenal and could sack agent if he causes trouble. So we've heard the agent could cop block and whatnot. So maybe that's him gone. Now, I don't know if this is true. Again, I'm just a humble football fan. Croatian-based Arsenal supporters group talking about a Serbian lad. I know it's all the Balkan regions and things like that, but if it was the Serbian-based football Arsenal supporters club on Facebook, I still wouldn't believe it. But I'd be like, all right, cool. I don't really know what's going on, really. So yeah, and just by reading this, the excitement was huge when we wrote the publication because we from KNA TV came up with some information that not even Mr. Romano has. Namely, our sources, again, I don't know any of these people, namely our sources who personally know Vlahovic claim that Dusan could come to Arsenal very easily. Fiorentina offered a contract that never came to Dusan because his agents asked for as much as 4 million on their hands for signing the contract. Dusan then wanted to sign with Fiorentina. The relationship between Dusan and his agent is very thin, and it's not expected there will be any problems with some agent fee or similar, because if Arsenal and Fiorentina agree, and sources say that Dusan is interested in Arsenal, Dusan could even break up coordination. She with her agents, if they wants to, they work in trouble. So again, I don't know what that means, but I think I think what they're saying is if his agent or agents, he or she cause problems, he'll keep it moving. Despite what Juventus was mentioned, our source says this story is not feasible because Juventus simply does not have the funds needed to pay Florentino. In the end, we asked our source the question about the chances of Dusan Vlahovic coming to Arsenal. We got short but extremely sweet answers for all of us. It's compulsory. I think it will cross. I've been saying that since 6 months. Arsenal now or Dortmund when Haaland leaves. We waited a long time to talk to the person who gave us this information, but it was worth it. So I don't know what to believe of that. You lot do what you're doing. It would provide some. And then there's even talk on mafia business and stuff. I'm from Serbia. Let me try to explain a little better. I don't know if any of that's true. If any of this is true, you know how the internet is, people. And again, don't shoot the messenger. The problem is the management company that owns the rights to Vlahovic's contract. Can you even do that in today's day and age now? The company is associated with politicians who run the country, who are the embodiment of greed and crime. They sold the whole country. Athletes are just an extra profit. Vlahovic will go to the team that offers the most money to those managers. They don't even want to talk to clubs that offer less than their greedy wishes. Simply put, Vlahovic will go to the club that allocates the most money for managers. Boy, Vlahovic not keen on Arsenal without Champions League football. Dusan Vlahovic is not interested in a move to Arsenal without the guarantee of Champions League football, according to the Athletic Serie A correspondent James Horcastle. Arsenal have spoken 30 times with Fiorentina about Vlahovic. They know the price and they know what would make an acceptable framework to get it done. But the reality is he wants to be in the Champions League. But gas him. You could give us that push to get top 4, bro. You could be Champions League with us. He's an exceptional talent and has been so consistent. The reality for clubs that want him is that they have to make a very compelling pitch to show they're on the up, heading into the Champions League and contending for silverware, in which you think Arteta wouldn't have an issue in doing that part, for me anyways, really and truly. So I don't know what to read in relation to that, people. Again, just to reiterate, on the theme of strikers, yesterday we heard Edu is going around talking to advisors. He's doing what he can for Vlahovic. He's spoken to Isak's advisors, and he's spoken to Jonathan David's agent, who hasn't been shy in saying his client can go. It probably, Vlahovic clearly is the number one target, but Jonathan David for me seems attainable. Really, we know how Leo works. His agent has not been shy in saying that his client can leave. We'll have to see. But Arsenal have reportedly approached Jonathan David's agent over a possible move to the Emirates, with Arteta and Edu scouring the market for reinforcements up front. He's got 3.5 years left on his deal, people, so Leo are in a strong negotiating point of view. According to Football.London, Vlahovic remains our primary target, but the report indicates that the Gunners could focus their attentions on David should they fail in their pursuit of the striker, people. Apparently, they've slapped a 47 million price tag on David, so I can understand why we'd want to spend the extra 10, 11 quid and try for Vlahovic. We're probably not going to get Dominic Calvert-Lewin in Jan. We probably have to put the wheels in motion for a summer move. Isak, you put the money on the table, things can happen, but I don't think they're going to want to let him go, especially because Florentina are not having the best of seasons. Apparently, it's claimed Edu held a meeting with David's representative at the end of December, and we've scouted him before. And to reiterate, his agent has said, for us, the goal is to finish the season with Lille, but this will be his last season there for several reasons. I think the Premier League is a great option for him. I think he likes Spain a lot. These two leagues are the main priorities for him, but nothing is being ruled out. You never know with PSG or the big Italian clubs. It's normal that all these big clubs are interested in the top goal scoring Liga. But I can tell you that today there's no official offer. So make of that what you will, people. Just in terms of breaking up the transfer news, because I want to see what you lot are saying before we get right back into that. Right back, no Cedric Suarez. Come on. We're there again, man. Let me scroll all the way up because I was seeing a lot of messages. Big up you lot. Make sure you're hitting the like buttons. Make sure you're setting your reminders for later. Tottenham versus Chelsea. Watch along. Appreciate the 4 people who have set their like buttons already. Tomorrow it's Liverpool Arsenal. Make sure you've done the same thing on that. Big up to the 43 people who've hit the like button on such. And at 2 p.m, continuing with the theme of Arsenal, I'm going to be on Twitch where I'm going to have my guy Mo. So again, don't miss out on that one. Make sure you're following and subscribing on that. So yeah, man. Oh, there's some weird guys here, man. My man hasn't put up a tweet since November. He's shook. His mention is full of Tomiyasu memes. And he should do, man. He should do. We've got 300 plus people watching and there's only 74 likes. You'll have been doing me shit this week, man. Not gonna lie, I don't want him. He's flavor of the week. He must have great people around him to get his name hyped as much as it's been. Probably, but he's been scoring goals. I hope Vlahovic is a baller car. He don't look like it in these highlights. If he doesn't want to come, won't it cause issues in the change room? He might think he's better than the club and make a bad atmosphere. Probably, but it don't sound like he's not on it. He's not silky smooth, but he's a bully. Bro, we need some bullies, man. Liking all this Vlahovic talk, but we're in big trouble midfield-wise. Just hope these Ronaldo rumors are true. Pardon me. Would you be okay with Jonathan David or is that? Yeah. Why not? Why not? I mean, be quiet there, jumping all the way down. It wouldn't surprise me if it's a money-making thing, man. You do see it a lot with a lot of players that they've got people behind the scenes leeching onto them, and there's other reasons for things going on, man. Big up yourself, Joey. Hope you're doing well and safe. I would love Darwin Núñez, man. He's free to come to the carpet, but I don't know if Arsenal have ran the rule over him and just said, you know what, you're not the guy, because there's been little to nothing with Darwin Núñez. His name will be thrown about here and there, but it is what it is. Gomares would be a fantastic signing for us. Aiden saying sign Javinho, you're making banter, man, so you have to come out this live chat, man. I don't know what you're on. I prefer Isak. He's more technical and do things other attackers can't, such as he can also play as an inside forward, so he's versatile. I hear that. Appreciate live from Planet X. Shout out all the members that are locked in, man. Some man said midfielder or striker this window. Midfield for me, if I could. The chances of Jonathan David turning out like Pepe are very high. Would you honestly be happy with the signing when there are better options such as Schick or Isak if we can't sign Vlahovic? I mean, I'd be on to Kareem Adeyemi. I would like Isak. I'd pass on Schick. And, you know, what's the correlation between Jonathan David and Pepe? Like, I hear you. I'm not trying to catch you out, but list your reasons. Why? Why would he turn out like Pepe? How could he turn out like Pepe? How are the two logical, apart from the fact that one's at Lille? You know, unpopular opinion, every signing could be success. Every one of these guys are a gamble, really and truly. How, out of 10, how confident are you that we land Vlahovic in top 4? I don't know for Vlahovic. I'm not a transfer man. I'm just going off the rumours, people. We're just literally, this is where it ends for me. We talk about it, we imagine it, but it's done after that. I don't know. I don't know for any of that. Like, I don't know. And I ain't got Edu's number. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it looks silly. Sometimes it don't. Of course, Jonathan David is very raw. He's going to be very raw. There's probably going to be aspects of Vlahovic that is very raw. He's 21 years of age. None of these guys are the finished article. So, yeah, I don't know for that, man. Chances of top 4, 5. I'd say 50%, you know. Just if you want top 4, you've got a platform. You know, it feels like this is the defining period if you lot want top 4. You have to beat Spurs, in my opinion. That's a 6-pointer. They got games in hand, but you got to start taking points off your rivals. You know, if you want top 4, for me personally speaking, you've got to, when United come to Emirates, you've got to beat them or to make them drop points. You've got to go to Spurs and do a thing. You know, fortunately, we've got City out the way. Liverpool's almost an impossible task, but you've got to put in a shift against them. You know, we've still got some tricky away games. There's still a lot of twists and turns, bumps and bruises along the way, man. So, yeah, man, if we want top 4, we've put ourselves in a fantastic position. But if it's not until May, everything's up for debate and everything's set in stone, really and truly. Out of the rest, Matthew, sorry, man, you're asking some great questions, but it's not letting me bring it up. Here we go. Out of the rest of the pack, who do you think is the biggest rival to the top 4? United, Spurs, or West Ham? Unpopular opinion, all of them. Because like us, Spurs were the worst team in the world. Now look where they are and got games in hand. People can say what they want about United, but any team that's got Ronaldo, I look at United. I don't know what Ralph's doing, but they could still be in there. West Ham can always get back. I think it's literally we're all fighting for it, really. And whoever doesn't get Europe, it's your fault. Like last season, the season before. Unpopular opinion, excluding the obvious teams. Normally, the team who's grabbed the place. Not every team that's qualified for top 4 has been amazing in the season. They're just taking advantage when other teams are pissing about. Pardon my French. Ryan has said, bro, I trust you not to BS me, but please don't be clickbaiting with the Vlahovic thing. I haven't clickbaited at all. Always been doing this speaking. If I've literally just correlated the article, then what you lot want to think about, and if you lot want to see 2 and 2 and start getting apples and oranges, that's you lot's business. That's you lot's incompetence, man. I understand it. You lot really want Vlahovic. You really want midfielders. Please don't use me as a pillar to hit. The famous saying is, do not shoot the messenger. You know, we're just here talking about speculation, man. Thanks for the backhanded compliment, man. If you lot want to start getting excited, that's down to you lot. I can't tell you lot what to think. I always say to think. As I always say, until Donny's holding the shirt, well, it's all speculation. To be honest, if we're going to give that much to buy one player, I would believe it would be more wise and better to buy 2 players like Grimares and Isak. I hear that, assuming that it's as simple as basic as that. Why not, man? Benfica are shambles right now. Nunes isn't even starting. They've got him for 20 mil, easy swipe. I mean, I like Darwin Nunes, man. Bring him to the club, man. Might have to start learning French from the amount of pardons. Vlahovic or David, Lamptey and Bruno are number 1 signings. I mean, I don't know if we're going for. I don't know if you know. I definitely when I see Cedric Suarez playing like that, but I don't know if I would advocate shelling out if it could happen 50 million on a right back in January without addressing up front. And for me, the biggest priority is in that central midfield. You could sign Vlahovic. If you don't sign that midfielder, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. Strikers win you games. Your defense, which your midfield is part of, wins you trophies or gets you into places. Boy, It's brazy, man. It's brazy. It's absolutely brazy. Keeping up the task with the transfer news, though. Let's get back on the boat, people. Now we've cut them up perfectly. So yeah, man. You lot keep your Vlahovic opinions and them things there coming if you want. But yeah, man. I think we can close where the articles are. We can close that. We can close that chapter. Really and truly, and start to get into stuff. Now we probably need to get some outgoings done as well, people. And in terms of outgoings, we did hear yesterday Pablo Mari is moving closer to allegedly signing for Udinese on loan after being offered all around Europe. Now we're probably just going to get a loan fee. Hopefully he does well in Serie A that tempts people to buy him, or he's going to return with no option. But Fabrizio Romano has said Arsenal are prepared to let both Kolasinac and Marie leave this month. Udinese are working to sign Marie on a straight loan. Negotiations are ongoing. Marseille have approached Kolasinac, talks on to sign him right after Bakambu. And there's even rumours of him going permanently now, and rumours of Arsenal tearing up his contract, really and truly. So it is what it is. And this just kind of correlates what's going on with that, really. And I'll be all, that 100 bags a week from Kolasinac off the wage bill would be lit, man. Oh, wow. Roma will attempt to sign Granit Xhaka again this summer as midfielder emerges as Jose Mourinho's number one target, with the Serie A side failing to match Arsenal's valuation in 2021. Now, first things first, a lot of you and myself included, we said, you know what, he's probably going to sign a new deal. The club might have said, you know what, if the offer comes again, you can move. Because Xhaka seems to me as someone that he's on everything. He's on staying and still being part of Mikel Arteta's plans, and better relationship with the fans. He's a Swiss lad. He spoke on growing up watching Serie A. He was not shy in flirting with Italian clubs and the side of the road Italians drive on. We all watched his Euros. He was playing well in the Euros, but his off-field matters. He was flirting with the thing, and we all knew that he probably wanted it to go down in it. And for me, I think we should have let him go, or at least moved away from him, really, because it feels like we're only going to sign that midfielder. I hope to be wrong. When Xhaka leaves, in the same way, it just feels like now with this Aubameyang stuff going on, we're now trying to really get a replacement. I think Xhaka is a decent player. I don't think he's as good or as bad as his haters or fanboys make out. But anytime these sort of players are your first team, part of your strongest 11, you're only going to get so far. The very fact that we miss Xhaka when he's not playing says everything. Roma, are they going to mess us about next year? Because I heard Xhaka was this great midfielder. He's a baller. He had a great Euros. For me, it looked like if he's that good and he's Jose's number one target, principles are principles, morals are morals, money is money. But if we're arguing over a couple of quid and he's this amazing, why wouldn't Roma do it? I don't know. And Roma, you need to make sure you're buying Ainsley Maitland-Niles before you do all of this really. But it makes sense. It would be a good adventure. It could be the best way to leave. You help us get it back in the Champions League and you keep it moving, although he has spoken on wanting to return there. So we'll have to see, man. One thing I'd say is if it happened in January, it shouldn't be allowed to happen, really. And the only reason I want Xhaka to leave is because it will force Mikel Arteta to move. Like in the summer, it will force him to upgrade that, because it just feels like we're not going to upgrade unless Xhaka keeps it moving. Roma will reportedly head back in for Granit Xhaka, with the Arsenal midfielder emerging as Jose Mourinho's number one summer target. The Serie A side were interested throughout last summer in the 29-year-old Switzerland international, but ultimately failed to agree a fee with the Gunners. The former Borussia Mönchengladbach star went on to sign a new deal in North London, which will take him through until 2024 with the option of another. So for him, he's laughing. At 29 years of age, you're tied down for the next few years. Your family's comfortable. You're earning decent money. The manager rates your thing. Unless Mikel Arteta gets sacked, you're cool. You're cool. The opportunity I wouldn't want to turn down, to be honest with you, at 29, the opportunity to say I've played for both Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho. He speaks about the way of life in Italy and a new adventure. And I think it would be best if Arsenal and you move on, because I don't think the strongest of foundations. But for what it is, people, apparently this publication claims that Jose remains keen on Xhaka and will attempt to bring him in. The publication adds Xhaka is the first name on the Portuguese summer wish list, and that Mourinho remains a huge fan of the midfielder, and even told him, as we remember, to get the COVID stuff. Xhaka was believed to have been close to the 15.5 million move to the Stadio Olimpico in the summer, but after reportedly agreeing personal terms, but Arsenal were holding out for 17. So if he's this amazing guy, what's that, 1.5 million or something? Mourinho, however, has picked up one Arsenal midfielder in the current window, bringing in Ainsley Maitland-Niles, as we know, and he didn't have the best of games in his debut, really thrown in at the deep end, if I'm honest with you. You know, and we can't afford to sell any midfielders. Really, I'm not saying you shouldn't have went to Roma, but in hindsight, should we have sanctioned that without dealing with what we're dealing with? I don't know personally, but that's where Granit Xhaka is concerned, people. As you know, we signed the Wonder Kid, people, allegedly from West Brom. I don't know for Wonder Kid. You know, I haven't seen too much of Lino de Cruz, but from what I've seen of him, he's decent going forward as a modern day fullback. He's fairly strong despite not being the biggest. You know, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet, can play in tight spaces. And considering I don't really feel we have a left back that I know of, I don't know if there's any under 16s and 15s and that, just from the under 18s to 23s. I don't think there's a left back that I could say is going to come through Arsenal's academy. I don't think Joe Lopez is going to make the grade at Arsenal Football Club. Respectfully, I'm nobody. I don't have no. I'm just a fan with an opinion. My opinion don't matter. He might, and I want him to because it's another academy. But I just think at his age right now, he's probably too lightweight. Can go forward, but he's not really amazing at it, not really that decent defensively, bit lightweight, needs to go and play senior football. I don't think there's a pathway here for him. I want to be wrong. So which I'm happy to see this young 16-year-old. We all know West Brom has a fantastic academy. He's played for England at youth level. No clue how much we paid for him. He's part Brazilian as well, Brazilian bias, you know, Edu doing his thing. You know, Fomi's got Brazilian in him. I'm here to be biased in it. You know, I'm here to call him the best left back in the world already, people. And he's played for England, and hopefully he can progress all the way, be a homegrown talent and things like that. And, you know, Brazil and England can fight for you in the future to play for them and whatnot. So big him up, people. Allegedly, Lino's, this is what his former coach said, Lino's an athletic fullback, reads the game, reads the game well, has a lovely left foot. It's not often a 16-year-old plays an entire season with the 18s, but that's credit to him because he has so much potential. So, yeah, man. We brought him to the club, so big up the scouts and whoever. But yeah, man, that's a next signing for Arsenal Football Club. Hopefully, you can progress all the way. Arsenal interested in signing Juventus midfielder Arthur Melo on loan this month, but Gunners are yet to make contact with Serie A side as Mikel Arteta eyes additions to his midfield. So we hear he's on a short list, but that tells you we're trying something else. And unless we're mad desperate and time's running out, we're not really keen on this Arthur Melo loan. We've already spoken about it, you know. We know we're interested in him. We know it ain't worked out for him at Barca. It ain't really worked out for him at Juventus. And the 25-year-old needs to play football, people. We also know that we've been linked with Bruno Guimaraes. We're fighting Juventus. Apparently, apparently you're seeing 37.5 million all the way to 43 million euros to sign Bruno Guimaraes, in which, in an ideal world, if we can get Vlahovic and Guimaraes, you know, fair play. Fair play. But yeah, that's that. I'm not gonna go over Vlahovic anymore. Like I'm sick of seeing this guy now, man. Either sign the brother or not. And this correlates what we said. Arsenal are interested in the Juventus versatile midfielder, 25 years of age, and has only made 4 appearances for Juventus this season. I wouldn't be against it. Who's this? I was reading this. This was irrelevant, people. Sky Caval basically said Ronaldo was an Arsenal fan as a kid, so there might be some encouragement if PSG, apologies, want to get rid, but apparently he's keen on just staying there and doing his thing. You know, Arsenal hold a huge interest in Bruno Guimaraes, but any move for the Brazilian is likely to wait until summer due to his 40 million price tag. And I hear that, but you don't sign a midfielder in this window, it's over. It's over for Arsenal Football Club in anything you're trying to do in Europe. Apparently, William Saliba is to finally be given an Arsenal chance. Finally, people, apparently he's to be reintegrated into the team. According to L'Equipe, Arsenal are set to reject current loan clubs Marseille's attempts to make his deal, permanent. And Arteta wants to fully integrate him. And I've said it before, I want Ben White and Gabriel, you lot keep developing. I want Saliba to come and ruin that pivot and give Arteta nightmares of bringing him into that starting lineup. You know, who knows? There might even be an avenue. You know, I want headache. I want, you know, I want to play Ben White, Gabriel, and Saliba. Do I go 3 at the back? Do I put Ben White at right back? I can't drop out Tomiyasu and all these things. Just give him some problems because it gives us versatility and all of these things. So, yeah, big up Saliba. Keep developing. Loan report out tomorrow, by the way, people. We're back on that. I fell off towards the end of 2021, but I'm back. So that's William Saliba. Jonathan David, as we already know, you know, Arteta already said it. He's met with his agents and that. Arsenal apparently have just 2 midfielders, including Charlie Patton, fit people. So it's looking peak for us, really and truly. And obviously, Balogun has officially completed his loan move to Middlesbrough. And I'd implore you all to go on Middlesbrough's website. They were bigging him. Chris Wilder was bigging him up. So all the best to Balogun. We hope he can do his thing and whatnot, man. We hope you can do your thing. I want to see what Mikel Arteta's had to say as well, because I know he's spoken about transfers and them things there. So we'll get into that in just a second, people. But yeah, that's the second part of that transfer stuff, really, people. Like that's that, really. Ugh. I've just put the timestamps in the wrong place. Transfer rumours, Vlahovic, Imara. Sorry, folks. I always, spoiler alert, when I have Mo or anyone that I'm doing content with, typically, sorry, transfer news extended. Typically, I like to prepare questions in it. So far, we'll touch on I'll ask him about Nottingham Forest, City, and the Liverpool/Spurs games, because I ain't spoke to him about City or Forest, and we've got Liverpool tomorrow and Spurs on the weekend. We'll talk about some transfer stuff. I want to ask him how he feels about Nuno Tavares versus Arteta as well. But yeah, that's at 2 p.m, man. So it is what it is. I rate Chris Wilder. Still think he can get a tune out of Balogun. I hope he can, man. Hope he can. I haven't seen us linked with Lucas Paqueta, but he can come to the club if he wants. Brazilian bias. What's the Vlahovic news? Already spoke on that, my guy. Already spoke on that. You either have to stream this all the way back to the start or just catch the replay, man. Why does Arsenal like giving out players when we are short? No clue, man. Good day, DG. Been a crisis in the Arsenal camp. We need to strengthen the squad to be in the top 4. We've never been linked with Milinkovic-Savic, but I think he's a player we should go for, whether it's now or in the summer. Wouldn't mind, man. Wouldn't mind. Right, gonna cost a pretty penny. Shout out Sandra. Apparently nothing concrete yet. Oh wait, hang on. My understanding remains that Arsenal are still trying for Dusan Vlahovic. Any January deal depends on persuading the Serbian. Fiorentina are open to a sell, but a summer move still more likely. Vlahovic wants Champions League football. Not true, he's demanding 300k per week. Talks with any club haven't progressed to the point of specific wage demands. His agent is well aware of interested suitors, and Vlahovic is in a strong bargaining position, as we know. But the idea a club must pay 150 million all-in fee, etc., is being denied. Nothing concrete yet on Yuri Telemans, who Leicester hope to keep in January. Arteta admires him, and Arsenal have tried to sign him before when he was at Monaco. Telemans turned that move down because he was worried about game time. Well, boy, that's when we should have signed him, when he was on the floor. But yeah, big up Telemans, but don't help me. And you don't help none of us, I'm at that stage now. Bring people in or it's irrelevant. Like, it doesn't really help me that you try to get him, you try to do this. Come the end of January, if you haven't got a midfielder in minimum, then I'm not going to say kiss your European chances goodbye, but I don't think you can complain if you don't end up in Europe. And I think, the blame could be laid at naivety from the gaffer and the technical director and everyone involved in the club, really, because you knew AFCON was a thing, you knew injuries were a thing, and if we're really trying to be that naive and act like it might not affect us, it's brazy. So they want Xhaka in midfield. That midfield spot for Ainsley just ain't happening. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles has made peace with the fact that midfield or at right back, that's your job. That's just you. You're just doing either one. Arteta's on-field management might have improved slightly, but his ability to build a balanced side and get that transfer window work still is so sus. What happened to Aouar? It seems like a myth. 19 days left for the transfer window to close. Arsenal need to think fast. I do think the next 2 weeks will do such. Broski, respectfully, Farhan, I'm not giving we've already spoken about Vlahovic. I'm not a radio. I'm not going to repeat myself. Like, I can give you the timestamps. I'm not going to give no one no little rundown. Like, I'm not you lot's personal assistant thing. Either scroll back or go elsewhere. What are the chances of getting the new midfielder before Spurs? I don't know, and it's probably naive. Like any midfielder, you'd be on the bench. You're not going to start, and you might set them up to fail. I would love Szoboszlai, but I don't think that's happening. DG, do you think considering Torreira had a bad relationship with Arteta, it might play a part of Vlahovic worries on Arteta's man management skill? Maybe, but I don't think the two are correlated, if I'm honest, because there's also several examples of him having good ones. Arsenal in advanced talks to sign Arthur Melo from Juventus on loan. Bruno Guimaraes is appreciated, but the Leon man isn't the priority right now, reports RMC Sports. So, boy, that's that one with Guimaraes, isn't it? And I mean, it would make sense, you know, get a player that's halfway out the door on loan, pay a loan fee that gives you more funds to commit towards Vlahovic, I guess. If Marie's really going on loan, we need to bring in another centre back. You reckon? Out of the FA Cup, Chambers allegedly is allowed to go as well. But what? Holding, Ben White, Gabriel, Tomiyasu can be pulled over there, and Chambers should be all right. We lack a lot of depth. It seems like Arteta just constantly micromanages every single game. I mean, every manager does, really. You know, you want to live and breathe every kick, I guess. 224 likes, 500 odd of you locked in. Unexpected high bills due for those who do not hit that like button. Don't be that guy. Wouldn't mind Ward-Prowse. Wouldn't mind Ward-Prowse at all. Wouldn't mind him. He just does his job. We need guys like like that, if I'm completely honest with you. Should we see what Mikel Arteta has said in his press conference in the build-up to the Liverpool game? Now, the Liverpool game is it's a brazy one because a part of me thinks, you know, if there's no midfielders fit, might as well just go to a back five. But then even with a back five, you need two centre mids. Who is it going to be? I hope Xhaka's over the COVID stuff. I hope Tomiyasu's fit. Xhaka in particular, you know, I think I would, Patino, you would hold the bench for this game. Lokonga, you need to fix up. In fact, I was even seeing today, you know, Lokonga, as much as I like him and he's got ability and all of these sort of things, people, he needs to fix up or you're going to be in trouble because so far in his early days in the Premier League, where is it? There was something about errors leading to goals. He's up there. I think he's made the most errors leading to shots on the opponent on your goal, and I need to find it, man. I swear I sent it to myself. Lokonga, I'm so sure. Yeah, here it is. Lokonga needs to fix up, man. And I need to know if I can trust you away from home because I like you. I like Tavares, but right now I can't trust you lot away from home because I just think you're not ready mentally. Lokonga has committed the most errors leading to an opposition shot on goal of outfield players in the Premier League this season, with 4 from his 13 appearances. He's a good player. There's ability there, but you need to fix up, and I need to be able to trust you away from home. So a part of me thinks back five, but who is going to be there? I think we need Xhaka fit. I would love to imagine Arteta has learned his lesson, and if need be, you know what, you're going to have to go with Lokonga and Odegaard next to each other, in my opinion. If anything, play Patino in the quote unquote 10, or has the like the freedom to kind of do things if that makes sense. Like I don't really know where it is. I still believe Lokonga's a good player. I still believe in his ability, but yeah, man. What would be your first priorities in the transfer market? It goes without saying, essential midfielder. Everything else is a bonus. That's the minimum, really. But yeah, Mikel Arteta is back during his press conference now. Lovely to see he's fully fit. On the reaction to the defeat at Nottingham Forest, obviously, we are all extremely disappointed and upset after the game. We analysed what happened. We discussed it. We talked about it and hopefully learned from it. There's no hopefully. You got to learn from it. We're at that stage of the season. There's no hopes. There's no nothing. Man have to learn. Man have to apply themselves. There's no excuses. After that, you throw it in the bin, take the lesson and move on because the game we have ahead of us is too important. It is. Fix up. On the links to Vlahovic in true Wenger fashion, he said, I'm really sorry to disappoint you, but I am not going to be discussing any transfer rumours. I've never done it, and obviously we cannot do it. On whether he's hopeful he can add to his squad this month. What I really want this month is to have as many players as possible fit and healthy and do the best and maximum with those players. After we have a strategy of how we want to evolve and improve the team, and whenever that is possible, we're going to try and do it. We all know that this market is extremely difficult. It is, but there's no excuses. No midfielder, no excuses. On whether he expects to lose players this month, again, this is part of the strategy for every individual situation. Is different. There are a lot of factors that go into making that decision, but at the moment, everyone who is here is fully involved. And I did think a lot of song and dance was made over Tavares and Arteta's poor management. You played shit. You come off. You was angry because you played shit and you got embarrassed for getting subbed. Move on. We go again. You know, he said that these are things that happen in football. I am there to make the decisions to get the best performance of the team. It's not pleasant to make those decisions. It leaves a bad taste, but at the same time, we're here to help our players. And to help our players, you have to do it in many different ways. And hopefully that's a way, because certainly we want to support our players. We want to help them. And because you have to make a decision on the day, on my side, it gives me more encouragement to help them, because I've been there. I've been substituted after 45 minutes. I've been upset. I have made my wrong decisions in my life. But it's part of the process and development phase in any career. And it's part of those experiences. And in some experiences, unfortunately, aren't pleasant. But most of those, if you take it in the right way, they are the ones that help you progress and become a better person or player. Facts. You can't, you know, it's not always the good things. If we sign 4 or 5 starters by nature, our depth will improve. Wijnaldum is the best option for Arsenal. I wouldn't say the best, really. What would you not expect that to be the case with Sambi? The error is always the same thing. I mean, I don't know if that's reference to me, but I've always said old habits die hard. First things first. And I said the guy signed, he's come from playing in Belgium. He's going to suffer these culture shocks. Now, so I don't know if that's at me, but what's already understood don't need to be explained or said several times. But one thing I would say, I don't think it's the errors you're making. Age plays a part, but it's not an age thing. You've played enough games for this club, and maybe even done it at Analyte. You've played enough games to go and watch your games again and know not to play certain passes or look over your shoulders. Same goes with Tavares, you know, because them Tavares mistakes that came out away from home, they were there when he was getting praised at Leicester away. They were there against Newcastle. I told you, he's leaving too much space in the first half, Newcastle away. Lo and behold, that's what harmed him. These guys are going to make mistakes. Ring rust is not an excuse for making poor decisions, you know, really and truly. But anyways, away from that. On his reactions, upset and thought the coach is wrong and that this is not fair. This is normally the reaction. With Nuno, I didn't get that reaction at all. And that's it. For me, it's just a moment. So focus and move on all the good things as well that he has done since he's been here. And that's true. On the latest team news, boy, no excuses for our playing squad, because you knew about this you knew this could happen. It is extremely volatile and uncertain. I don't know what the situation is that we will have today, or if it is different to yesterday. Obviously, I can't go into any detail with that. It is what it is. In the last week or so, we have lost so many players for many different reasons, and we are trying to adapt to that. I will use the players that we have and make the most of it. Boy, so that tells me we might be in for a shocker, or I hope Arteta's hoodwinking us. There have been different reasons, some injuries, some COVID, some absentees with players that have been away with the Africa Cup of Nations. So different reasons, no excuses. I really don't have sympathy for anything. I don't want to hear nothing for Arteta, all these players, about the lack of players available, because we've known this in the summer. We know injuries are part and parcel. We know we've got a couple of African players and there's AFCON coming. So there's anything that happens is our fault. On the possibility of this match being postponed, you can never guarantee anything, clock good, because you know things can change dramatically in 10 seconds. When the doctor comes to the door and gives you the news, we have experienced that already twice this season. Our willingness is always to play. On now playing this home leg second, things have changed because of the timing of the game has become different. The first leg is in a different place. It's completely uncertain and unpredictable. And you'll have been to Anfield already this season, so you should know what to expect. But it is what it is. So I don't know how it's going to change. Nobody knows until we're on the pitch and we're trying to compete to reach the final. Listen, I'm not going to read this. They're missing Mane and Salah. It's irrelevant because Minamino, Firmino and Jota and these guys, they're issues, that they're problems for us already. On the false positives, it's something that is not in our control. The EFL is responsible. Yeah, Rick Parry used to work for Liverpool. No surprise. There's no sort of inquiry into these false positives. Bit fishy to me, but what do I know? The EFL is responsible to check every single player's status and then make the decision whether the game is played or not. The decision was to postpone the match, and I'm sure if that was the case, they had the right arguments to do so. On the reliability of testing, again, you lot can read that if you want. Again, you know, we know Tavares needs to react on if the club will spend more freely in January now that fans have returned to stadiums. I don't know the financial power and positions of other clubs. You hear a lot of rumors as you hear about us. Some of them can be possible and some others they're not even considered. I think clubs are always willing to try to improve. We know there are a couple of clubs in England now that have the possibility to buy players in Jan. Some of them have already done. I'm expecting more activity than last year because clubs are in a better position. But I don't know how far we've come still through this pandemic. on if it's realistic to pull off a big money signing without European football. I don't know. Historically, this club has always been targeting the best players in the world, and the best players in the world are always interested to come here. And I can say that situation hasn't changed. Marie Cedric William, is that where we're moving? Anytime I've spoken to a player, they were so willing to come. I haven't faced any other situation, and that's one of our biggest powers. Our capacity to get the attention of people to come and join our club is something that is a big advantage for us. You know, he spoke about Smith Rowe and he bigged him up and whatnot, and I don't really want to read that. On whether he considered delaying Ainsley Maitland-Niles' loan, we talked about all the possibilities. When you're finalising a deal, there are certain things that you cannot miss out if you want to complete that deal. Again, I said the interest of the player was that clear after what happened in the summer, and we felt it was the right thing to do, and it was a matter of over a day or two that we tried to do that. But as well, you have to have the player in the right mindset to compete, knowing that he's going to leave the next day. I don't think that we can make a decision that's going to have an impact in the next 6 or 18 months just for a day or two. I don't think it's very logical. On Eddie Nketiah, the situation is that Eddie is our player and Eddie is going to stay with us. On whether he could leave this month, he's our player and he's under contract, so he will stay with us. On when we will know if Xhaka is available, hopefully today, not tomorrow, hopefully today. On whether he is physically fit enough to play, that's the argument we're having at the moment. Obviously, after having COVID, they are going through that illness in a different way. Some of them are having symptoms, some are being affected, some are struggling in the first few training sessions, and some are completely fine. So as soon as we have the option to train Granit fully with the team, we'll see where he's at. I don't know where he will be physically. I know where he's going to be mentally. He'll be fully committed to play from the next minute that he has clearance, which is true. On his approach to the game, given the fixtures coming up, we know the impact that these games are going to have on our season. We knew before the Forest game, we didn't have a lot of options. We had 10 players who could not start that match. That's half the team for different reasons. It's a big lesson. We know that we didn't perform at that level that was good enough. We have to move on because these 4 games we have ahead of us are far too important. We didn't ask for the Forest game to be postponed. On whether the semis should be over just one leg, well, with the look of our fixture list for the next few years, and it's something we have talked about between managers in the Premier League as well, something has to be done. It probably wasn't possible to do it this season because of the commitments were already arranged, but it's something that, in my opinion, has to be discussed. On whether the League Cup could disappear completely, from my side, we haven't reached those conversations yet. I don't think it should. Why? Doesn't make sense. But that's what Mikel Arteta's had to say in relation to his press conference, people. So yeah, man, you know, he spoke about Nuno, Emil, vaguely touched on transfers and things like that. Keeps his cards very close to his chest, as we know Mikel Arteta does. So boy, it is what it is. In relation to us playing against Liverpool, I don't know who the lineup is, man. I think you might have to consider a back 5, but if it wasn't that, provided Xhaka's fit, Xhaka, Lokonga, Odegaard. You know what? Ramsdale, Tierney, Tomiyasu if fit. The two, you know, Tomiyasu if fit. Gabriel, Gabriel can't play, can he? I swear he's back for Spurs. It's going to have to be Ben White and Holding if Gabriel can't play. In midfield, I'd say Lokonga, Xhaka. Fuck it, Smith Rowe. No, Odegaard. On the left-hand side, Smith Rowe. On the right-hand side, Bukayo Saka. Up front, Lacazette. Now, Martinelli doesn't deserve to be dropped, but I just think we need to get Smith Rowe in there. And I think Martinelli is one of the few players that I feel is capable of actually impacting the game off the bench. If I'm honest with you, it's one of them I wish we could have. We could have 12 players. Everyone wanted Maddison. We got Odegaard. Hey, unpopular opinion. Some of us were very ecstatic with Odegaard. So let's not speak for me. And he's been phenomenal. Everyone was upset with Ramsdale. Please speak for yourself. He's been sensational. The rest were practically unknown, and we see how they've performed. Oh, I wouldn't say Ben White, Tomiyasu, Tavares. They're all known players, but they're doing all right. But you are right, Odegaard. Arteta has deserved some sort of trust. When you make shit signings like Willian, Cedric, and that, you deserve a lot of criticism. When you make good ones, you deserve, a bit of a blight. Gabriel's available. If Gabriel's back, all right, cool. Then Gabriel starts. Slap Gabriel in the team. Then simple as that. Chambers midfield. What's your thoughts on Arthur Melo? Decent player, man, but I don't know for your playing standard. I don't know your fitness, and I don't know. You see, he seems to love a party. In the summer, we need a goalkeeper, right back, centre back, midfielder or two, and another 9, in my opinion, all for competent squad depth / players to challenge and push that are mainstays in the 11. Apparently, Nuno Tavares can do a job in midfield. Let's can we just can you just learn how to play left back first? A lot of you were saying, playing right back, do this, do that. Can we just make sure people are a jack of one trade and then try and master others? Chambers in midfield, we're getting to that territory where you have to try it, man. But boy, I'd rather Ben White get slapped there than Chambers, if I'm honest with you. But again, we shouldn't be in this scenario to speak of, especially playing Liverpool. We shouldn't be doing any of that, man. The Rangers lad having a great AFCON, but no, good player though. But in theory, in fact, I like him, so yeah, but no. I wouldn't try and move heaven and earth to bring him to the club. Tomiyasu and Ramsdale were the most consistent. Odegaard and Tavares had good and bad spells. True. Ben White and Lokonga pivot. I was thinking Ben White at the base, really and truly, in no 10. Just him at the base, and then Lokonga and someone else. Probably Lokonga, Xhaka, Ben White at the base. I like Tavares, but I told you, look, defensively, you have to watch that one. He signed for the club. I listened to his press conference. He spoke about shooting with his right foot. I'm sorry, but maybe it's because I'm a fullback. I was there. If a defender has not mentioned one single aspect, I like to tackle. I like to work 1v1. You got to watch that. Lo and behold. He's a good player. Will come good, man. I like what Tavares is. You could argue Tavares' arrival. You've seen a better Tierney because he lost his place for a sec. Now there's something. And I want a bit of that for Tomiyasu because there's gonna come a time where we're sitting and saying, "Oh, Tomiyasu, you might have had a bad game. Can this guy get in?" I don't want Patrick Schick. I think he's decent, but I don't think he's the thing. That's just me. If he signs for us, support him all the way. I'm open to being wrong, but I just don't feel him personally. We lost the Liverpool game mentally with that one Tavares missed pass, and that's what we need to learn. We need to learn to sorry. We need to learn to respond to setbacks, in my opinion. Mistakes happen. But for our players, they've got to want to arrest them because Tavares, you didn't necessarily make a mistake in the game that you got subbed in the first half, but these things have been there. It's like Gabriel. Gabriel likes to get tight. There's going to come times he does dumb stuff. Ramsdale's positioning at times is quite shaky. There's going to come times where it's highlighted. These guys have to just improve, man. No, Lokonga's a decent player, man. I like Lokonga. He's just having a tough introduction, man. He needs this. It's not every day the games against Watford and that and Newcastle where they're just sitting back and we're looking good. You need games like this. And for me, it's the main thing is Lokonga at home. He don't really, I know he did it against Palace, but he's quite switched on. It's like he's still adapting to the culture of the league, like respectfully. I don't know. And if that was a game in Belgium where you was going to the equivalent of Forest, if the ground would have been quieter, I think he looks like he's still adapting to the fact of wherever you play, whoever it is, there's bare fans just moving mad. It just seems like a cultural thing with Lokonga. And just the fact of, like I said, the thing I love about him, he's got that Maitland-Niles thing. He's calm on the ball. He doesn't panic, but you need to find balance with that. He wants too long. And I think it's a culture shock. It doesn't matter if you're playing Premier League sides or Championship sides. You're not going to have that much time on the ball, man. And, Arsenal's training sessions, he's probably got years on the ball. I wouldn't say Patino needs a loan yet. See how he's doing at 19, 20, I think. For the next 18 months, see how you get on physically. How are we going to rotate 3 games in 7 days? 2 versus Liverpool and 1 versus Spurs? Boy, going to have to get on with it, innit? Going to have to get on with it, man. The next, what shall be against Liverpool. But, boy, you got to name your strongest potential lineups in these 2 games, man. I mean, well, I'm not being funny, but we're playing on Thursday and we're playing on Sunday. When we was playing Europa League, that's the sort of fixture calendar list we had. So we should be able to get on with it, if I'm completely honest with you. Yeah, it's going to be a big arc. Yeah, there's going to be a big arc in terms of recovery, but you need to get on with it. Yeah, Tavares did that bullshit. Yeah, you're right. Completely forgot about it. Nah. Lukonga's not slow. I just think with Lukonga, he's a number 6. This is why, bro. You know nothing like Yaya Toure. Company was gassing him. I've muted Vlahovic on Twitter, so I can't see it. But as you've said in the past, if you can't get your first target, who are the first? Who are the second, third, and fourth? True. Silverware and a 6-pointer on the line if you're fit to play. This is it, man. Just get through it. And for me, it's about reactions now. You know, you played all right against City. You don't get points for playing all right. You get points for winning. We lost. As much as I'm being harsh, we good performance against City. We tried a thing. Certain things went against us, but we lost, and we still have a poor record. You don't get points for playing well. You get points for winning. Forest disaster. That's 2 L's now. The funny thing you've seen, you win couple games, the sentiment, the mood changes. You lose couple, it gets sour. And I still don't know how volatile we are. When things are going great, you see players playing out their skin, players trying things. When things are not going great, only a few players stand up to be counted. A couple players start hiding. You don't need to. I'm not going to say we've lost our season, but boy, it could look ugly by the end of this week. You could be out of 2 cups come the end of Thursday. You could lose a North London derby, and Spurs are in good position with their games in hand. I know it's dangerous about games in hand. You know, we need to start getting back on it. Forgive yourselves for any mistakes that's happened and go again. That's the only way we're going to move mad and do things. 276 likes, people. We can get the 300 mark. If we can't, unexpected high bills, I feel sorry for you, look, boy. Every little helps. And I know if you're like me, you're still recovering from the Christmas period. So, boy, you lot don't love your money, man. I respect it. You don't need to come and invest in DG, then we could really have a great transfer window. Surely Wilshere would have helped us against Forest, probably, but he's played 50 games since leaving Arsenal. He hasn't played since however long. He hasn't kicked a ball in a 90-minute game, so the feasibility, I'm not sure of what he's on. Personally. DG losing in the cup is part of it, bro. That's the so-called magic. Shame it had to be us, but it is what it is. Respectfully, B, who are you trying to tell that to? Like, me of all people, I know that you either win or lose. It's pretty self-explanatory. You go through or not. What I won't accept is, if we went through to the better side, if we lost to the better side, which we did, fair play. But we lost for a variety of reasons. Yes, we had several players losing, but from minute 0, missing out. But from minute 0, we weren't in a contest. Forest looked like a team that wanted to get through. So losing might be part of it, but that, pardon my French, I just think that's bullshit, if I'm honest with you, especially the FA Cup. Like, we went out in a disastrous fashion, and that's my point. Even you went out you had a courageous performance against City, you lost. Disastrous against Forest, you lost. You need to go back and get the winning mentality now. So, not sure of the point being made, but I hear it, man. We should go for it against Liverpool. Should we go for it, against Liverpool, park the bus? Bro, go for it. Like, anytime you've seen Liverpool under problems, it's when people are going for it. And you see Trent Alexander-Arnold, it looks like he's having a culture shock. He doesn't know how to react to having to defend. You sit back at Anfield with their fans, and the Anfield atmosphere is magical, but they do make a big song and dance. You get eaten alive. Be smart about it. Obviously, you can't defend for 90 minutes. You can't just fly forward for 90 minutes. But long gone are the days of them thing there. And we're not a great defensive side, so can we really sit back? Obviously, I'd rather us beat Spurs, but boy, it's all about the performance, It's about getting back to the performance now. I can't lie, unpopular opinion. I'm not making too much of the Mane and Salah thing, because you've got Minamino who turns into a madman in the cup. Firmino's always disrespecting us. Jota is trying his best to carry on the legacy from the man that are missing in the Africa Cup of Nations. So there's a lot, man. Biggest week of the season we could get done mentally, because if we get out the cat yard and we lose to the Spuds, we're going to be in trouble. Even if we lose, man, I have to get on with it. I don't want to see people crying. I don't want to see people crying, man. Squad depth wasn't addressed properly in the summer. Now look at us. We miss El Nene, Lokonga, our only proper centre mid left, and he just ain't it. Not ready yet. It'd be a miracle if we beat Liverpool. Hey, man, we do all right against them in the cup, to be fair. But boy, I want us to win, but I can't. On the best of days, we need too many things to go for us, man. That 16-year-old is not ready, is not replacing Nuno Tavares anytime soon. Boy. Arsenal's way too up down. My heart can't take it. Boy, this is the life we live. This is the life we live, man. Want to compete for the Liverpool match, of course, but not the end of the world if we get knocked out. Exact compete. That's it, man. Just compete. Just give Liverpool a tough game. That's all I want. Like you did with City. Ultimately, watching the game again, there were certain variables that were out of our control. There's certain things like the build up to that to the winner that City scored. We could have prevented that ourselves, but we competed. All right, fair enough. What I don't want is crumbling. And again, you just need to learn from the Liverpool game. You know, I hope all these players, not that they watch me or listen to us, I hope they've watched that game again and drawn their own conclusions. If you're a fullback, is there little mannerisms you've seen from certain Liverpool players and patterns? If you're a centre back, is there any patterns? I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You know, respectfully, Ben White said he doesn't watch football, so I don't know if he's, you know, I don't know if he's watched a bunch of Salah clips, even though Salah's not playing, and you know Salah's mannerisms and things. You know, it felt like centre backs used to do all of that stuff. Like they would know about all their opponents and everything and whatnot. Nowadays, I just see the strikers do it. You're seeing Salah asks Foster, what side would you have died if I took the pen and that? So I hope we're on that, man. We just, you know what? We're either with Arsenal, we're either, I don't know, man. Like, you never want to be too fearless, and you definitely don't want to be too scared. And it looks like sometimes we're too fearless to the point where it's naiveties, like you've seen in a couple of games, and we're not doing the basics, or we're too shook where you make a mistake. It's not the end of the world, man. React, you know. Don't let the fans get onto. There's going to be times fans are going to be onto you at Anfield. You're going to be in your own half. You know, the 12th man's going to be making bag of noise, but you need to react to this, man. You need to react to this, man. Boy, man. The thing that just jars me is just the playing, the level, not even the level of playing squad. It's like who the playing squad that we have to pick from now, because we knew depth can become a problem at this club. And it's like we was blasé, man. Very blasé about it. And this is the sort of things that happen. Boy. Boy. It's going to be an interesting one. Starting to ponder the game. Apparently, Arsenal like Bruno Guimaraes a lot and have even positioned themselves, but the priority is Arthur from Juventus. And then again, the only thing with Arthur is not that he isn't a good footballer. It's, are you going to do the partying antics? You'll have to see what happens, man. Rather go out all guns blazing like Leeds than sit back and get slapped. It just sometimes it looks like we're half stepping this. Like we're half. A couple man want to do the fearless thing. Couple man want to sit back. It's like we're never just 10 toes down. And for me, as much as football is amazing, I want my players to behave, not nonchalant. And if you understand football, you understand what I'm saying. It's just, you make a mistake, so what? To be fit, what shall be, you know? Future's already decided. You make a mistake, so what? It's football. You ain't killed no one. Yeah, you're going to social media nonsense and all that stuff. But tomorrow, no one cares. Be fearless, man. You make a mistake, react. Football's the baddest thing to me. It means a lot, but I don't, you know, the only way we can truly progress and be good is if people are fearless. Fearless isn't just about screaming and slapping your chest and flying in pointlessly to tackles. I know in this country that's shown as courage. Sometimes it can just be doing the basics. You might be able to play a long range pass 10 times. That one time in your life, it doesn't happen. It leads to an opponent scoring. Are you going to have the confidence, if it's on, to try that an 11th time? This is what makes a difference, especially when you go away from home. It's easy to play at the Emirates because it's fucking silent 9 times out of 10. And now, obviously, it's a great place to be and we're at home. Away from home, it's not nice. And it is a lack of experience with our players, but it is what it is. DG, I've seen a lot of people say Arthur Melo is too slow for the league, but my thing is it about your speed of thought? Exactly. I don't think his game relies on pace like that. I think he's fairly press resistant. I think he'll be all right. It's the only thing with him is the off-field stuff. He loves a rave. So, yeah, man. I don't know about too slow. And I mean, respectfully to Xhaka, not to get at Xhaka, but I'm pretty sure he's not slower than Xhaka. And Xhaka's done all right. Come on, man. Crazy one. Would love Declan Rice at Arsenal. I just said that the Emirates has been noisy, but again, what we're not going to pretend is like Arsenal, the Emirates is getting there. It's not one of the most difficult grounds to play at. It can become toxic for our home players, surely, but it's not the most difficult ground. 9 times out of 10 is silent. This season, it's been a positive atmosphere. Away from home, the away fans make their noise. That's my point. The away fans make their noise, but they're dwarfed. You know, there's a bag of fans shouting abuse, jeering you, all these things, and it seems like we struggle with that. We struggled at Nottingham Forest. We struggled at Liverpool. We up until the point where, you know, someone pissed off Klopp. I think it's Arteta, and Klopp started geeing them up. We struggled with that. We struggled at Brighton. Fair enough. We did it against Leeds and Norwich. You know, to give us that, but it's still a negative ratio. Could have walked away with something at Old Trafford. Don't think we played appalling there, but fundamentally lost. Last season, our away form was on the floor. No, our home form, sorry, was on the floor, and our away form was better. This year, it's taken a twist. The last couple of years, it's been exactly that. Eddie wants first team, but isn't on his level. Don't know what he said there, my guy. He does want him to stay. He said it in his press conference that we just went over. He wants Eddie Nketiah to stay, but I can't tell the gaffer anything, but his contract's running down, isn't it? And personally, I'm not blaming Eddie Nketiah, but what was the point of starting Eddie Nketiah against Nottingham Forest? To convince him to stay? The best thing for the team would have been Lacazette starting. Fair enough, Arteta, man. Yes, DG. One thing I'm looking out for this window or next is the mentality and personalities of the players we sign. I want to see more fearless and determined players with good arrogance in my club. Listen, if we can get Telemans, I think I speak for everyone. Get it done, innit? He's a fantastic player, but where's that one coming from, man? Trust, I've been at the Emirates where they've done that, man. Man, look at you like you're a madman for chatting. The atmosphere needs to improve, and the atmosphere comes with healthy things. I relax, man. I answered your question about Telemans. Stop spamming, man. Allow it. Eddie needs to go France or Germany or go somewhere where he can actually play. Exactly. It's a results business. And that's my thing, you know. For these players, don't think you're good when you've won. Definitely when you think you're bad. When you've lost, don't think you're bad. Keep that balance. When we win 2 games or whatever on the trot, we're not that good. When we lose, we're not that bad. Keep a balance. Mentally is what's going to make the difference. I've been seeing players with bare skills, can do bare things, but the mentality hasn't been there. That's what's going to make or break the difference. And decision making. We need ultras. Safe standing is welcome at the Emirates. I can't wait to that. I'll be there every week. You're not going to get no watch alongs, really. But Arthur's a baller, man. But I mean, if Arteta's being a stickler for discipline, and maybe it's a different country, but Arthur Melo looks like he likes a rave, then London and that. You can see how it's gonna go down, innit? You can kind of see what's gonna happen. Respectfully. Coutinho confirmed that Villa. Gerrard convinced him to come. Fair play. We're paying the price for not signing a 30 midfielder in the summer and hedging our bets on Lokonga, who's unproven. I don't see a guy who can't get into a 5th place Juventus team as the answer. A bit harsh if he was to look at that. Odegaard couldn't get a sniff at Real Madrid. You know, if you look at the history of a lot of players we've signed, you know, there's not kind to them. A bit harsh to look at that. And to be fair, he might be a 5th place Juventus. Let's not forget we finished back-to-back 8th. Do you reckon Balogun can reach Saka's level a few years from now? Saka's level, no, but I think he can be a decent player. Wirtz is a baller. Shout Luca Dean going to Villa. Villa are doing their thing, but people said this in the summer. Oh, Villa are so much bigger than us. Look how they spent the Grealish piece. Oh, they're doing everything that Arsenal should be doing. How we allowed them to get Buendia. Now they're trying to buy Smith Rowe. Lo and behold. Yeah. Trust, man. Arthur, there's Brazilian man here, man. I'll keep Marie even for that. I know Marie's Spanish, but, you know, he must be able to speak Portuguese having lived there. Make my man feel comfortable, man. Boy. Is what it is, man. I still can't get over my head around why we didn't pick up Basuma for 20 M's last window. When Basuma was 20 million? Moving mad. When was that? Fair enough. I don't remember that, but if that was true, then Arsenal maybe needed to get that one done, really. It's a big L not getting that one completed there, man. Boy, how many likes are we on now? We must be at 300. Hey, we're well over 300. Appreciate you lot for that one. Obviously, people do not forget, in actually an hour, I'm going to be online on Twitch with Mo. So make sure you've downloaded Twitch, you're following and subscribing to me, people. We're going to be speaking Arsenal. And obviously, tomorrow, well, what am I doing? Why is it not sharing the screen? Don't forget tomorrow, people. So watch along affair where Liverpool and Arsenal are concerned. You know, this game should have been played last week, but false positives in that. Yeah. And then obviously you got Spurs later today, people. Spurs, Chelsea. Again, provided we do our job, we'll know who we're playing come the end of the night, people. And then, as I said, Twitch at 2 p.m. So, yeah, content, and more content. It's been a pleasure being here with you lot, people. But with it being an hour and 26 minutes, I'm going to go and get something to eat and all of those sort of things. So, yeah, on that note, peace, man. You lot stay blessed, stay safe, hit the like button, set your reminders. You know, hope you all have a good day moving towards your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Stay fit, stay healthy, and yeah, man. I'm out.
There's always that active red flag, defenders. I think it's like